You're listening to TurkishSoccer.com's Turkish Football Podcast. My name is Ahmet Turgut. Welcome to another edition of Turkish Football, Turkish Super Lig Podcast. I know I'm kind of late for this podcast for this weekend, but because of my family commitments and a busy schedule, I couldn't do the podcast in the midweek. I apologize for that. Now, let's get to the Week 10, recap it for you. Mainly, we'll talk about what's going to be happening Saturday, Sunday, and Monday matches in Week 11. In Week 10, if we recap it, indeed, as I told you in my last podcast, it was going to be a lot of surprise results. Indeed, that's what happened. A weekend with surprise in the Week 10, there were 29 goals scored. 3 away teams won their match, and Adana Demirspor, Gaziantep, Fenerbahçe, they were the teams that won their matches in away matches. So, still, after Week 10, Adana Demirspor is on top of the Turkish Super Lig, while the surprising came from Galatasaray. They lost to Kayseri, and another surprise that came out of the Week 10 was Gaziantep beat Konyaspor in Konya. And in Istanbul, Beşiktaş at home against Trabzonspor tied 2-2. And Fenerbahçe, the team that has been scoring a lot of goals, they're the most goal scorers in the Turkish Super League with 28 goals. They won it big. They beat Ankaragücü in Ankara with 3-0. So pretty much these were the scores in Week 10 that were really talked about. And with that Week 10 going over, and I would say the standings looking at right now after Week 10 coming into Week 11, Adana Demirspor is in first place, as I said, with 21 points. And Fenerbahçe made a jump from fourth place to second place with a win against Ankaragücü. They're in the second place with 20 points. And Başakşehir is in third place with 20 points. Beşiktaş fell to fourth place there with 19 points, and fifth place, Konyaspor, fell from the second place to fifth place. They have 18 points. Sixth place team, Trabzonspor, has 18 points. Seventh place team, Galatasaray, who has not played, as you know, they had a bye 1 week. So instead of playing 10 games, they only played 9 matches so far. They're in seventh place with 17 points. The only thing, Galatasaray coming into Week 11, they only scored 10 goals and allowed 7 goals. After 10 weeks, Galatasaray scored only 10 goals. So all the superstars that they got, it's not clicking. Even though in the mid-week, they had a Turkish Cup game against the lower division team. They did score a lot of goals, 7 goals, but let's just remind them, Kastamonuspor is no Turkish Super League team. So we'll see what they will do this weekend coming up in Week 11. I will talk about that match coming up. So 7th place Galatasaray with 17 points, and 8th place Kayserispor is in 8th place with 16 points, which they're right behind Galatasaray. And Galatasaray, after beating Galatasaray, they are very close to Galatasaray. And 9th place Gaziantep, the team that surprised everyone this past weekend, they have 15 points. And 10th place Kasımpaşa with 13 points. 11th place Alanyaspor is with 12 points. Now, the bottom of the barrel, looking at the Turkish Super League, the last place team, Ümraniye, is only with 3 points. 18th place team, Hatayspor, with 7 points. And another team with 7 points is 17th place Ankaragücü. And 16th place Istanbulspor, which they lost today in the opening match of week 11 against Antalyaspor. So they're in the 16th place with 8 points, and another team with 8 points is in 15th place, Giresunspor. 14th place team, Fatih Karagümrük, with 9, and the 13th place team, Antalyaspor, after winning in the last very seconds of the match. They beat Istanbulspor 2-1, and after this match, again, the week 11 started with complaints about Turkish referees. It's only one day, Friday. What will happen on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday matches? It's going to be the same thing. If you listen to my podcast regularly, I've been talking about awful Turkish referees and bad calls every weekend for most of every team. So Antalyaspor, with that win, they, after week 11, they have only 3 wins. Nuri Şahin's team is not doing too good, but with this win, at least they got out of that danger zone a little bit. And the 12th place team, Sivasspor, also with 10 points. Now, let's get to the week 11. Week 11, it's going to be a lot of good matches again, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We already played the Friday matches today. Antalyaspor, as I told you, they beat Istanbulspor 2-1. On Saturday, we have very important 3 matches. You have to look at these teams. Again, they're very close to each other. Because if you look at the top of the Turkish Super Lig and the bottom of the Turkish Super Lig, besides Ümraniye, the last team, pretty much from 18th to 12th place team, even 11th place teams are they're very close to the danger zone. As a matter of fact, teams like Hatay, Ankaragücü, Istanbulspor, Giresunspor are very in the danger zone and the relegation zone. As we look at the top, there's only a couple points, a point actually from first place to the 4th place. So it is the week 11. It is going to be another a weekend with a lot of surprise scores coming up, because all these teams are very close to each other and they are playing each other this weekend again. On Sunday, actually Saturday, Ümraniye will host the last team of Turkish Super Lig in the standings. Will host Fatih Karagümrük. Pirlo's team is looking good with 9 points after winning a couple games. Ümraniye is with 3 points. This should be a must-win for Ümraniye if they want to get out of that a little bit, have a hope from getting out of the last place. In Trabzonspor will host Sivasspor. Trabzonspor with 18 points, and Sivasspor has 10 points. This should be a dandy match. And the best match of the weekend, if you ask me, it will be happening on Saturday. Fenerbahçe will host Başakşehir. Başakşehir is coached by former Fenerbahçe player and former Fenerbahçe coach Emre Belezoğlu. So this should be a fun match to watch, an interesting match to see. Fenerbahçe, the team is scoring a lot of goals. On the other hand, Başakşehir only allowed 3 goals so far after 10 matches. So this game is going to be a match of the weekend. It should be a dandy on Saturday. On Sunday, there are 3 matches. Kasımpaşa will host Kayserispor. Kasımpaşa with 13 points, and Kayserispor has 16 points. And Adana Demirspor, the first place team, Adana Demirspor, who has 21 points, will host Konyaspor, who has 18 points. another dandy match. And another dandy match will be happening in Istanbul on Sunday. Galatasaray will host Alanyaspor. Galatasaray with 17 points and Alanyaspor with 12 points. Galatasaray always have a trouble against Alanyaspor when they play them. So it should be a fun match. So 3 important matches on Sunday. On Monday, there are 2 matches. Hatayspor, the second from last team, Hatayspor with 7 points will host Beşiktaş. Beşiktaş with 19 points. And it's a must-win for Beşiktaş. And we'll see. It's a must-win for both teams. Also on Monday, it will be Giresunspor will be at home against Ankaragücü. Giresunspor has 8 points and Ankaragücü has 7 points. So, as you can see, the teams are very close as far as the points. So, it is going to be a crucial weekend coming up Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And in the week 11, Gaziantep will have bye. So, recapping, the most important matches happening on Saturday and Sunday. And as far as the standings, I gave you that. And also, it was the talk of the town this past week that Galatasaray Administrator Erden Timur, one of the officials from Galatasaray team, did a press conference, and he complained about the referees and the VAR system not being fair to them and to a lot of teams in general in the Turkish Super League. Well, I agree with him because the Turkish referees, you heard me saying every podcast here, they're either intentionally or unintentionally, they're making huge mistakes. And the VAR system, the VAR referees in Turkish referee committee are very, very poorly done. So Erden Timur had some good points, and he said he wants the justice for not only for Galatasaray, for all the teams, but he said in the Turkish Super League, there's a couple teams that are favored by the VAR system and Turkish referees. He complained about that. You know what teams are those. I'm not going to mention any team names, but to my gripe about Erden Timur's press conference, before, as you know, this past weekend when they lost against Kayserispor 2-1 in the first minute of the match, they did not get a penalty kick call by Icardi, and because of that, and then they said that this was happening too many times this season, in the very young season of this Turkish Super League, to Galatasaray team. Not only Galatasaray team. If you look at a lot of teams, just today, Istanbulspor complained about the referee giving the game to Antalyaspor. And past couple weekends, Beşiktaş was burned by referees' calls. And other teams, Kayserispor. I could name other teams. So I think the Turkish Football Federation has to have rules for everybody same. You cannot have calls for certain teams this way and then for other teams that way. So that is what was happening. We'll talk to you after the week 11. I apologize again being late with this podcast, but enjoyed week 11. Look for a lot of surprise scores again. My name is Ahmet Bob Turgut. See you next time. Bye-bye.